Love is a complicated term to vastly understate its weight. We're often told that it's our responsibility or right as people to find a true and lasting love that will carry us off into a brighter tomorrow, not only by our families and peers, but also our media. When you place this push to find love and relationships in tandem with our media-based culture, especially in the US, it's not surprising to hear that a lot of people's first major crushes, or romantic or sexual awakenings, were on or caused by fictional characters. Objects of this desire in the anime community are referred to as a waifu or husbando, Japanified pronunciations of the words wife and husband. However, what I'd like to make clear is that fictional characters go beyond our traditional ideas of what a waifu or husbando may be. They may be from a video game, cartoon, book, TV show, movie, etc. Yes, even real-life actors and actresses are fictional characters. They're highly publicized and specially marketed facades of who the true individual is. They're idols. In this video, I hope to explain how an otaku loving his waifu is no different than K-pop stans, simps, or sports fanatics, and how we are all susceptible to developing a 2D love. The definition of idol is an object of worship or one deserving reverence. However, we cannot separate this word from its other definitions, equating it to a false ideal, or, my personal favorite, a form or appearance visible but without substance. Idol worship is not exclusive to the glow stick wavers and the body pillow huggers of the otaku communities. When you see someone praising the performance of a football player while wearing their jersey, when you see a young girl going wild for the newest teenage heartthrob who she has plastered to her wall, when you see adoring fans calling out to their pop icons, a synonym of idol by the way, that they love them and would die for them, that is idol worship. This one-sided love and sense of a relationship is called a parasocial relationship. If you've been online enough, there's a good chance you've heard this term before, but in case you haven't, allow me to explain. In 1956, Donald Horton and Richard Wohl developed the idea of a parasocial relationship to describe the phenomenon of an individual devoting time, effort, and emotional energy into a persona, be it a company, a team, an actor, a singer, and so on, through mediated encounters with the persona, while the persona remains unaware of the individual. In this instance, mediated is referring to a third-party communicative platform such as TV, radio, social media, etc. To give the most simple example of a parasocial interaction, think of an episode of a young children's show. Oftentimes, the characters will ask the audience for the answer to a question. Where do we go next? What should we do? What was your favorite part? And so on. There will be a pause for the child to answer, then the character will respond with a vague line to make the child feel as if they've been heard. Development of a parasocial relationship can stem from a variety of different insecurities, illnesses, traumas, you name it. This is not to imply that all of these relationships arise from one of these issues, but rather those that become an issue in one's daily life. There is no problem in developing one, but allowing it to consume your reality and believing it to the point of social isolation, as we've discussed before, is dangerous and unhealthy. And as we've also covered, technology has caught up to make these parasocial relationships feel even closer to reality. The gate box lets you talk to your waifu, and social media lets you talk to your favorite celebrities. It's so much easier to fall into this trap now since the objects of our desires can directly say to our faces that they love us back. I'll be referring to this new form of half-response as a pseudo-social interaction. Thanks to these pseudo-social interactions, the simple act of admiration can quickly evolve into a delusion of adoration. The sense of joy that one who is starved of attention can feel at the simplest kind words is immeasurable. An Instagram model streaming and telling their viewers how amazing they are by using the pronoun you instead of you all instantly creates a significantly more personal feeling. Even the idea of someone being capable of treating you right is enough for some of these individuals, or sometimes vice versa. To use a more solid example, let's return to the world of otaku and their fictional loves. Regardless of whether or not you're in this community, you've likely heard of dating sims, visual novel games made to simulate the act of speaking with a variety of individuals, falling in love with them, and dating them. Depending on the title, these games can range from relatively wholesome to very much the opposite. If you're not a member of the otaku community, you may be, understandably, confused as to why someone would want to play one of these titles. Well, going back to my video, The Real Cost of Talking to Your Waifu, we discussed the nature of Japanese work culture. You're expected to often work late, you're not supposed to leave until your boss does, and if your colleagues go out drinking, you're expected to join them. This sort of culture leads to young men and women having very little time to socialize for themselves and potentially find a significant other. Thus, why waste time going out to have the chance to be rejected when you could simply go home after a long day and guarantee a positive interaction with a girl who is, more or less, perfect? The dating sim is the ultimate example of the perfect pseudo-social interaction. You can basically guarantee the same thing listening to an e-boy or e-girl stream, especially if you make a donation. In preparation for this video, I watched a documentary called Jawline. It follows a boy from a small town in Tennessee trying to make it big on social media, and a manager in LA dealing with his group of boys to keep them big. To say this industry, if you can call it that, is nefarious would be an understatement. The reality of these kids' lives is a total farce created by someone whose only intention is to manipulate vulnerable young girls and boys. While waiting in line to see these boys' tours, the documentary team asks several girls why they're there, and hearing their stories is heartbreaking. They've been bullied, have had a horrible home life, or any number of issues that these groups then take advantage of to sell a false support system to them. In one scene, the manager admits that these girls are not the popular or successful ones at their schools, but rather the ones looking for some form of escape. While we've come to mock and detest companies for preying on people's insecurities with unrealistic standards of beauty, wealth, or status, we practically ignore this new industry meant to prey on the loneliness and insecurity of individuals when it comes to attention. The internet celebrity is built on a false sense of familiarity and friendship with someone to whom you are just another number in their follower count. This is not to say that every YouTuber or Instagram model is ungrateful for what they've been given, but it is simply impossible for them to have tens of thousands to millions of best friends like some may claim you to be. I'm not one to tell you to stop loving your waifu or standing that singer. I just want to ensure that you do so responsibly. Remember that there are real people out there who are ready to care and be there for you. Don't shut them out because of the impossible standards that media has given you. Thank you for watching, and remember, I'm just a 2D husbando too.